Mike Portnoy here, and welcome to Drum Guru. I've never been one to hide my influences. I am proud of the drummers that I grew up listening to and still do to this day. I am utterly inspired by so many kinds of drummers, from pop to classic rock to progressive rock to metal. I mean, I'm just a musical sponge. I love listening to other drummers. I love listening to what they're doing and how they're doing it, and wonder why they're doing it. And basically, I'm going to pay tribute right now to some of my biggest drum heroes and kind of just give you my interpretation of their styles. I didn't really prepare anything. I didn't really learn the exact parts. I'm kind of just doing this from the heart and from the memory of growing up with these drummers. And there's probably people out there that can transcribe the exact drum parts. I'm kind of just going to play my interpretation of a lot of my favorite drummers' general styles. John Bonham is one of my all-time biggest drum heroes. In fact, I have his symbol tattooed on my leg, and he's always been one of my biggest drum heroes. And not only me, I mean, he's influenced, I think, every drummer that's picked up a pair of sticks, beyond the 70s. His style was so universally able to transcend genres. I think jazz drummers loved him, rock drummers loved him. He's one of those guys that, he played with such a heavy groove, and he had these nuances in his playing that just made him one of a kind. And I've heard people say, how did John Bonham get that drum sound? Was it the way that you mic'd the drums or the way you tuned the drums? The reason John Bonham sounded that way is because he was John Bonham. It wasn't the way that the drums were mic'd or the way the drums were tuned or the type of drums or the type of sticks. It was him that made those grooves sound the way they did. And he just played with weight and groove and feel, and I don't know if there's ever been a drummer that has really duplicated his feel exactly. A lot of times people think about Bonham and they talk about the kick drum. And yes, I mean, he had this big 26-inch kick drum. The big, boomy, roomy sounding kick was definitely part of his signature. But I think people underestimate the sound of his snare and his hi-hats. I think his snare and hi-hats were very, very, very much a part of his signature sound as well. And I think probably one of the most iconic drum beats of Bonzo was the intro to When the Levee Breaks. And it's one of those drum intros that's just, I'll play it for you right now, but it's not going to sound like him. And millions of drummers have played this intro, and it still doesn't sound like him. It only sounded like him because it was in his hands and in his feet and in his body and his soul. So I'll play it for you, and this is my rendition of When the Levee Breaks, and you could kind of feel how he really laid into the hi-hat and the snare. It wasn't all about the kick. It was the combination between the kick, snare, and the hi-hat. So here we go. live the king. A signature Bonham fill is based on the triplet feel, and he played with one bass drum and one pedal. So basically, the signature Bonham triplet feel was snare, tom, kick, snare, tom, kick. In fact, I'm not sure if that was the correct sticking that he used, but when I kind of try to cop Bonham signature feels, that's kind of the way I stick it. So basically, it would be like this.
So that's it. That's the clip of the week. And remember, leave us some comments. We need to hear back from you guys. Tell us what you want. Tell us what we should be doing, what we can bring you on Drum Guru. Remember, anywhere in the world, anytime, day or night, you just turn on your phone or your iPad and you can get something from us. So check back next Saturday. Check our Facebook and Twitter feeds, and we'll see you next time. Rob Wallace signing off from Drum Guru.